Okay, Hans, so Nishiura made a fortune from exports and even exhibited his wares at the famous 1889 Paris World Exhibition.
Yeah, with the most elaborate exhibition prop ever, the Eiffel Tower.
So this person who came to visit, was it the French president, perhaps?
Kind of close. So I'll stop teasing you. Here he is.
A horse?
Come on now. You're pulling my leg.
Okay. I understand it's the guy on top we're talking about, the emperor.
Indeed. And Emperor Meiji was the first emperor to live in Tokyo. Here is what this New York Tribune cover from 1985 says, under the title, "The Victorious Emperor of Japan, Beloved Ruler of a New World Power." The emperor, who was born on November 3rd, 1852, succeeded to the throne on February 3rd, 1867, on the suppression of the Shogun dynasty, which had for generations wielded the power which the imperial family held only in name. Mutsuhito has proved the most practical of modern monarchs, for in less than 40 years, he has brought his country from semi-barbarism to the status of a first-class power.
Cool.
Indeed. And this was one of the first photographs ever taken of a Japanese emperor. They couldn't be depicted before.
Like a god almost, eh? And what was such an elevated person up to in such a small countryside town like Tajimi?
Well, I am not sure, but our town was on the route back to Tokyo. Emperor Meiji was on a PR tour around the country at the time, and Nishiura was famous in a new era of international trade.
PR tour?
Yeah, before the emperor was restored into power in the Edo era under samurai rule. Ordinary people were not that familiar with the emperor. He was a puppet ruler down in Kyoto, but the new government needed a new symbol, the crown.
So here we are, in samurai outfits and all, and we are out of fashion in this story.
I suppose so. Here's the emperor's return to Edo, or Tokyo as the city was renamed at this time. In fact, he traveled by horse and carriage on most of his PR tour too, but in more modern style. The railroad network was still being developed.
People in Tajimi must have been mightily impressed.
They must have been, but Nishiura tried his best to impress the emperor too. In the garden at his fine mansion, they released large numbers of fireflies, like an illumination in the night. And they put pretty Gifford lanterns in the house. And the finest ceramics they had, of course.
Hey, you know what?
What?
You know, I have played the ignorant part all along here, but I actually figured out you'd do a lecture again. And the Emperor's visit to Tajimi was a pretty obvious answer to figure out. I mean, there has been plenty of time to think since part 1 of this episode. So I'm going to show you a little magic I prepared for Nishiura's garden.
You have?
Sure. Take a look at this.
Hey, that is magic, isn't it?
Just a bit of 3D wizardry, that's all.
Well, I guess you were the one to give me a treat. And that's the end of our story too, I guess. This is the last episode.
I guess so. So we should remind everyone to check out our homepage about Yakunara, where all this stuff is happening.
Yeah, it's all in the description. All our movies and links to the manga back numbers and preview of the new anime as well. Yakunara Mug Cup Mo is set in Tajimi and is broadcast from spring this year. A treat for manga fans everywhere.
See you then, Hans.
See you, Jay. Whatever reality, we'll meet in the next one.